All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jamie Thill. I'm the Early Literacy and Children's Coordinator here at the Alaska State Library. Today, we're going to be talking about Alaska's live homework help. We're visited here today by Ashlyn Welbrook from tutor.com. She's going to present about that. And so before she does that, we're hoping this session to be a little bit more interactive. So feel free to unmute yourself or turn on your camera if you want to ask questions or make a comment. You're also welcome to use the Q&A. I'll moderate that as Ashlyn's talking. And without further ado, go ahead and take it away, Ashlyn.
Hello, thank you for having me. Like Jamie mentioned, my name's Ashlyn. I'm your customer success manager. So any questions that you have, concerns that pop up, if you ever want an additional training for your specific staff group or team members, I'm happy to meet with you individually. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'll put my email in the chat. And if you have any questions or any follow-up things that you'd like to discuss, feel free to reach out. But I first wanted to go ahead and start by just showing you what tutor.com is, how your patrons get to it, and then we can answer any questions that you might have. So I'm going to share my screen. And feel free to put any questions that you have in the chat or shout them out as we go. Are you able to see this all right? I think so. It looks like it's showing up. Okay, perfect. So there's lots of different ways to get to the tutor.com link. It's listed under the SLED resources, so you can go to the SLED databases, or if you go to this homework help link, it'll take you directly to the live homework help link on the SLED website. So this gives some information about what all is included in the live homework help program. And as soon as you click on this, it'll take you to the main page. If it's your first time logging in, it'll ask you a couple questions so that you can create an account. You don't have to create an account, but this does open up a lot of the resources that are available. So I'll go through what that looks like, what's available when you do have an account versus if you don't. One thing to note is it does ask for your date of birth because we're COPA compliant. So any of your patrons who are under the age of 13, if they create an account, it will block some of the features just so that we are capturing their data in a way that protects their privacy. So if you do have any younger patrons who would like to utilize all of the services, I would suggest that they enter using their parent or guardian, have them help them access, and then they can utilize some of those services with the help of their guardian. But once you sign in, if you don't create an account, you'll see all of these are grayed out, so you're not able to utilize all of those different resources. But if you do create an account, and I'll use my test account real quick, then all of those are no longer grayed out and you can use them. So the first thing is the Take a Tour button. This will give you a brief overview of what's included in each of the different tabs. It's a good walkthrough just to know what all is available, but we'll go through each of them individually. So the first thing to note is connecting with a tutor now. This is available from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Friday, and then noon to 2 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. So this is available in English and Spanish. There's tons of different topics to choose from. We have some of your basic academic courses like math, science, social studies, but we also have some soft skills, things like note-taking, student success, how to do research, things like that that can be really helpful for students of all ages. And I also like to point out that we do have a lot of help that's geared towards your adult patrons. So things like GED and high set tutoring, job help, citizenship help, things like that they can be really helpful. Especially with the job help, we have resume and cover letter review, we have interview preparation, all sorts of things that your college students and adult patrons could find helpful. So once they've decided what topic and subject they'd like help in, we just ask some basic questions so that we can provide some helpful data for you all. So we ask for their grade, what zip code they are in Alaska, what school they attend. And then they can choose if they'd like the chat feature, which is similar to IMing, where you type back and forth to your tutor, or they can use the chat and voice option where you're speaking directly to your tutor. They'll enter the question that they have or whatever specific thing they're working on. They can attach a file if they have some sort of rubric that they're referencing. And then they'll hit connect now and be brought to our classroom. And this is what the classroom looks like. Over here on the right-hand side is that IMing feature that I mentioned. If they chose the chat feature, they'd also just be able to speak directly to them. And they have this whiteboard feature that serves kind of like a Google Doc where everything that the tutor does, the student sees, and vice versa. So they're kind of simultaneously working together on it. They can draw on it, they can type on it, they can import different formulas or charts, shapes, graphs, backgrounds, all sorts of things. We also have a graphing calculator for some of the math questions that might come up, a code editor for any of the computer science courses or languages that they might be working on, and then a text editor. And the text editor is where they can upload any of the writing that they've been working on. Maybe they want to go over sentence structure or citation formatting, anything like that. They can just copy and paste that information here and then work on it together. Once they have completed whatever they're working on, they'll end the session and then they can give some feedback. So they'll leave comments, they can favorite a tutor if they really enjoyed working with them. They can also email themselves a transcript of their session so they can refer back to it. And their session is also housed in their account. So another great reason to create an account. All of their past sessions are hosted under My Sessions so that they can review those. We do have some data that tracks how many students go back and view their past sessions, and it's growing quite a lot. So they're definitely using it as a note-taking feature where they can go back and reference any of the things that they maybe got stuck on in the past. They can also look at all of their favorite tutors that they noted, and they'll see their locker, and that's where anything that they've uploaded will be stored in their account. So if they're accessing it from a different computer, they'll still have access to all of those forms. We also have submitting a paper for review. So this is where they can drop off any essay that they've written, or again, a resume or cover letter, anything like that. And they'll just, again, answer some questions about what they're working on, where they're located, their grade level, and then what they're working on. They'll be able to give us some specifics of areas that they'd like their feedback targeted towards. So they can let us know if they're really just working on crediting sources, or maybe it's sentence structure that they really want that help on. So let us know where they want the feedback featured. And then they'll also, my favorite is the citation formatting. So if they do have a specific citation they're working with, they can let the tutor know that. They'll upload the file, and then within 12 hours, they'll receive a feedback form that looks like this. So it kind of breaks down the essay or the writing prompt into a couple different areas, lets them know where the tutor thinks they're at, gives some written feedback, and links out to specific resources that might be helpful. And then at the very top, there's a reviewed document link. And if they click on that, it'll bring them to their writing sample with some notes in the margins. So the tutor's never actually changing what the student has written, but they will give suggestions, ideas, corrections, things like that in the margins. And then the student can take that information and apply those changes themselves. Similar to submitting a paper for review, they can also drop off a math question. And this is where once they drop off like an algebraic function or something like that, they'll receive a step-by-step breakdown of how to work through that function using different numbers. So it's not giving them the exact number or answer for their question, but it is giving them an idea of how to work through that problem. And we limit this to 1 per 24 hours just to make sure that they are applying what they're learning and doing it themselves as opposed to getting walked through each problem. But that feedback form looks like this. So it gives the written and the visual breakdown of each of the steps to walking through that problem. So this again is one of those that gets referenced a lot in previous sessions because if you get to a similar function in the future and you can't remember what the next step is, you can go back and reference this. Are there any questions on those 3 topics?
Feel free to unmute yourself if you do have a question throughout the presentation. There isn't anything in the Q&A.
Okay, perfect. So the next part is some of our more asynchronous features. So things that are available 24/7 to the tutor or to the student. You can submit a paper or drop off a math question any time of the day. Those hour restrictions are just for meeting live with the tutor. So another asynchronous resource is our practice quizzes. So you can go in and test your knowledge in any of these different areas. We have lots of different quizzes underneath them. And once you take the test, you can review them, you can retake it. And when you do review, it'll have this option to discuss with a tutor. So if you are really stuck on a specific question, you're not sure how to get to the correct answer, if you click the discuss with a tutor button, it'll take the information from that quiz question and put it into a live session with a tutor so you can walk through it step by step and get some clarification on it. And then we also have lots of great test prep materials through the Princeton Review. So we have SAT and AC tests, SAT tests, then we have different practice drills, video lessons, all sorts of stuff. We have 10 full-length practice tests of both the SAT and the ACT. And there's lots of great information about FAFSA, applying for college, the college process, all sorts of things like that through the Princeton Review once you click on these links. We have similar information for grad test prep as well. So the GRE, GMAT, LSAT, and MCAT, we have full-length practice tests as well. And then we have some video reviews for AP exams. So if you have any students studying for these, it'll go through some of the basic concepts of those subjects as they're studying and reviewing for the AP test. And then another feature is we call them early edge videos, but these are some of the foundational components of math and English. So this can be really helpful for some of your younger students who are reviewing some of these foundational pieces. But I've also found it can be really helpful for some parents who are trying to help their younger students with some of these homework questions that they might have. And it's been years since you tried multiplying fractions. So this can be a really great way to review some of those concepts and get some help working through those problems. The other thing that we have is what we call the Skill Center. And this links out to a lot of different resources outside of what we provide. So for example, if you are working on the ASVAB or you're working on your citizenship tests, something like that, you can come here to the different standardized tests. There's the college entrance exams, but then there's also other tests that cover GED prep, HiSET, NCLEX, things like that. And when you click on them, it'll take you to additional websites, videos, sample tests, worksheets, flashcards, all sorts of stuff that can help you outside of our program that are just additional resources for you to utilize. But we've also created our own worksheets under the Study Skills Skill Center. So for some of the younger students who maybe want to work on something educational related, but don't want to be on their laptop or tablet, you can print off some of these worksheets. So we have them for K through 5th grade, and they're just really fun little educational worksheets that they can print off and utilize. So lots of great resources there, as well as career resources. So that'll help link out to examples of resumes, cover letters, interview prep questions, things like that, if they want to go further with some of those topics. But that is a general overview of everything that is available through the site. So if there's any questions on that, I'll stop here, and then I'll show you some additional features that we have outside of the actual program. I don't see any in the chat.
Same. I do have a question about like the concept videos.
Sure.
You had mentioned that you don't need to create an account to get connected with a tutor. Do you need to have an account to have access to those concept videos? And like,
yes.
Okay.
So the only tab that is available is that Connect with a Tutor Now. All of these other ones do require an account, and the Skill Center, I believe, does not. But these 4 tabs right here are grayed out unless you have an account.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yes. And part of the reason for that is with the SAT and ACT specifically, when you start going through the program, it'll track your progress in your practice drills and show your how good you're getting and what progress you've made. So having that account allows them to track it in that way. Any other questions? Awesome. So we do have some other resources that I just wanted to mention. One of them is our webinars that we host. So we have some generic library webinars that are for all of our library clients that go through how to promote this service to specific age groups. So we have them broken down by some of your adult patrons, the different features that are really focused towards them and how to promote it. And then the same with some of your college students and your K through 12 students. So you can join those anytime. Any of your staff or patrons are welcome to join that as well. We send out the links through our newsletter. So if any of you aren't on the newsletter and would like to be, let me know. If I get your email address, I can add you to that distribution, and then you'll have the reminders for them. We also host different study skills or student success related webinars throughout the year as well. We just recently did one about career readiness, and then before that, we did it on confidence in the classroom, confidence in your writing, things like that. All of those are recorded and posted on our YouTube page. So if you have patrons who weren't able to make it but would like some of those resources, they can go to our YouTube page and browse all of our past webinars that we've had. And then on here, we also have a lot of great promotional resources. So if you want to share a quick video with your staff on what is tutor.com, how do your library patrons utilize it, we do have a whole playlist that is specifically for our library accounts. So this is the one for all of your libraries. We also have the different playlists for all of our webinars that we host throughout the year as well. So feel free to peruse these. I'll put the link to the YouTube page on here in the link or in the chat box. And then I also wanted to point out our Partner Resource Center, and this has a lot of great links and promotional material for you to utilize. So digital media graphics, flyers, best practices guides, things like that. And we do have a section dedicated to your program. If you click the statewide programs and then go to SLED Alaska, we have created some of those flyers and things like that with your specific branding in them. So feel free to peruse those shareables and utilize any of these. You can print them off for your patrons, or you can post them on your websites, whatever is most helpful. But there's lots of great information here that you can utilize. And I'll put that link in here as well. So that is the bulk of what I wanted to cover today. If you have any questions about what is available to students, I can go over any of that. But I did also want to briefly mention who our tutors are, because I know sometimes there are some questions about that. We have over almost 4,000 tutors. And so we have tutors in all sorts of different subjects. That's why we're able to cover so many different subjects and hour ranges. But our tutors do go through a pretty rigorous process to become a tutor. We have over 200,000 applicants every year, and then only 1% of them actually get onboarded. So they have to go through our basic qualifications. They have to pass a test in each of the different content areas that they'd like to tutor in. They do a one-on-one interview, and then they're onboarded. So all in all, we really don't onboard very many tutors compared to how many apply. And they're all associated with a quality assurance manager who reviews their transcripts and provides training opportunities for them. And then for the state library, we do have an admin account, and they get access to a lot of great data. So they see all of the different transcripts that happen, any of the interactions that your students have with our tutors, they are able to view, and they can see all of the comments that are left, see all of the data in regards to what subjects students are utilizing, what zip codes students are coming from. There's lots of great information that's captured there as well. But I guess I will leave the rest of the time to any questions that may have popped up or areas that you'd like me to dive a little bit deeper into. That is the gist of it, though.
I'm not seeing anything in the Q&A yet.
I'll go ahead and put my email in there too, just in case, if anything pops up.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you very much, Ashlyn, for all of that information.
Of course.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.